Hello. Are we on the hour yet? Let me see. One more minute. I have to thank you for coming along. Oh, hi, Nigel. And earlier, yeah, Tatiana's here. I've only just met her this morning. but
We've got about a minute, Sherry. Okay.
yeah, sure. Yeah. This time I actually had a very short time to prepare, so it'll be quite a bit of imperfection. But anyway, I've promised Scriabin I would do this for him every year, at least until 2025, when I attempt all 10 sonatas, maybe split in two concerts. But that is coming up too. This year I wanted to play 30 pieces by him, but it's just too close to the festival. So I said, well, why don't you split with Dora Pejacevic, also my favorite composer, female composer. So it's 15 pieces by each composer, and then a little bit of poetry in in between sets. Well, not really sets, but I just split into 7 and 8, and then 6 and 9. So officially started.
I think so. I think we've reached the top of the hour, both on Zoom and on Clubhouse. Uh,
I'm actually streaming on YouTube too. It's my channel anyway. Not a lot of people know it, so that's okay.
Sherry's channel. So from Sherry Grant's performing studio in Auckland and from the MedTech 24/7 lobby, this is the Classical Music Clinic. And today's program is a birthday concert performed by Sherry Grant on her birthday, which is November 26th in Auckland. And which birthday this is for her remains a secret. And she will be starting her concert of works by her two favorite composers with a U, Scriabin and Pejacevic, in a little bit. But for those of you on Clubhouse, we'll do just a little bit of room reset, which is in the Classical Music Clinic and MedTech 24/7 lobby rooms. We send stage invites. We'll send those if your profile's filled out and the moderators know you, and hopefully Sherry can, well, she's got enough going on. She doesn't need to join us on Clubhouse. She usually does, but today we're gonna try to keep it minimal. We don't have technical snafus. And if you make comments in the room chat, please be courteous to everyone and don't do any business solicitation. We're probably gonna keep the requests to a minimum here since we have a set program, but I think it's going to be quite enjoyable. And finally, I recommend setting your audio quality to music or high and turning off spatial audio. And that is all the housekeeping I have for now. And I'm going to mute myself in just a second and turn things over to Sherry.
Well, first of all, thank you for joining me in my own celebration of my birthday, which I think it's I don't know, it's an important day as is every day else. But I decided to celebrate it with music, and so I have actually this concert to play that I've decided I've always put together my own program, and in the afternoon I'm going to go and play for a flute class. So they've got a yearly concert as well. So that'll be fun. Little Zoe's going to be playing. And this morning she just agreed to sing one song for us right at the end. So I'm celebrating somebody. It's a secret right now because to be announced. And so today I'm showcasing two of my favorite composers. The first one is Alexander Scriabin, and I will read some poems I actually wrote 300 poems for him last year, and to be published in 3 volumes, but that's for later. And I'm going to read maybe 5 poems from there. So you can find Maxwell. Can you post the link for the program in the chat, in Zoom, and also Clubhouse. Yeah. So people know what they are
Yes,
listening
yes,
to.
I will. I didn't hear myself there. Yes. So just so everyone hears, I'll be posting the link for the program in Clubhouse. I'll put it in the room chat for right
And
now.
can you also update me with any comments that you think I should know? I know some people said happy birthday, but it's really far away, so I can't really see very
All
well.
right. Take a look at the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So here
Before
is
we
the
start.
chat.
Yeah.
We have the following comments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Someone was having trouble with audio.
Okay.
Maybe it's
That's
fixed. That
on
was
their end. Yeah.
Tatiana Kristelbauer. Okay.
Oh, I hope
And
she can
now
hear
it's
now.
working. Now the audio is working.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that you know Pachevich. I'm
Oh.
Croatian. Let's connect with you with my colleague, Javor Bratic, New York City pianist, also playing Dora, maybe next in a duet.
Mm-hmm.
And some happy birthday wishes.
Oh,
And
that's great.
about Scriabin and Pachevich.
Yeah, I pair them together
So
because they're my favorite composers.
we have some
And
excitement about this and a happy birthday from Clubhouse from Maria.
mm-hmm.
And
Thank you.
are we ready then to have a little bit of a
I
view of the
think.
program?
But before we start, I just want to say that I actually played a Croatian music concert last year online, and I put together a lot of program. And two of the pieces, I forgot who it was. I forgot the composer, but anyway, it was one of the important composers in Croatia, and I couldn't get the music anywhere else. But well, probably not even in the library in Zagreb. So I actually went to New York City to find the two pieces of scores so I could play them in concert. So that's the length of my dedication to try and find the music I want to play. Okay.
Well, the one thing that I would say is that your dedication to the music and your willingness to do research to find scores is amazing. And Sherry deserves extra credit for not just learning the music, but for searching it out and coming up with interesting programs. And I think what you do in that regard is so commendable. And I think everyone who listens to classical music should be extra appreciative.
Yeah, I'm so experimental too. I invite a lot of composers to write for me. But I'll talk more about that because today I also want to share a little bit about the festival that I just did for Catherine Mansfield. And I can see at least one person, two people, two of the presenters are here right now. So I will start the concert with the first poem, and that was written, actually in 2021, just before Christmas. So, but still for Scriabin. So this one's called "Let Me Be Your Harbor." At the biggest crossroad in your life, like a silent movie everyone rushes by, anxiously looking for something to consume, except you who ponders where to next. Do not fret. Let me be your harbor. Even if the world is to end tomorrow, at least you can cry on my shoulders. The air toxic with lies, they all seem depressed, except you who ponders how to survive. Do not fret. Let me be your harbor. So that was inspired by Maya Angelou's poem, "Come and Be My Baby." I always write poems inspired by other poets or artworks or music. Okay, so I will start.
Right.
Do you want to announce the pieces?
Yes,
I will probably play the first 7 pieces in a row.
Yes, so the first 7 pieces are all by Alexander Scriabin, who lived from 1872 to 1915. And I apologize for this piece of trivia, but he died from a pimple on his face that went septic. We'll hear the waltz, Opus 1, the mazurkas, Opus 3, number 1, and Opus 3, number 2. The 2 preludes from Opus 11, numbers 10 and 17, an impromptu, Opus 14, number 2, and the prelude, Opus 15, number 4. And you couldn't hear this, Sherry, but before we had the formal introduction as the room was opening on Clubhouse, we listened to an Autumn Leaf, Opus 58, and an Etude, Opus 65, number 3, from Vladimir Horowitz. So 7 works by Scriabin, 2
Thank you.
mazurkas, 3
Thank you.
prelude, and an impromptu. Here we go.
Yeah, and I have to say that Horowitz is the first person who introduced me to Scriabin, so thank you, Horowitz. So that was the first 7 pieces. I have to add that I actually only had about 2 to 3 days to prepare for this concert.
Don't
Quite a
admit that. No one will know. No,
Yeah,
no one
it doesn't
knows.
matter. It
Don't
doesn't
admit it.
matter. I mean, I'm just saying, I was so swamped with the festival, and I'm still taking care of the festival. Afterwards, there's still the loneliness anthology, haiku anthology to publish. So,
You're
so
getting some hearts on Clubhouse,
forgive the wrong notes. I only
multiple
had a
sets,
very limited time.
hearts,
Yeah.
and so don't
Thank you.
admit a little practice time you gave to this.
Yeah, it's okay.
We had
It's
a
okay.
waltz, 2 mazurkas, 3
Mhm.
preludes, and an impromptu. And we have a few more preludes that will be coming up in the next set. We do have a question from the
Yeah.
chat,
Okay.
which is I will answer this in a roundabout way, which I think is the most diplomatic thing.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come to discover Croatians? Not usually many people know. Now I stop typing and start listening. And
Okay.
I would say that Sherry and I had a mutual friend on Clubhouse at one point who helped introduce us to some of these composers. And I would
Mm.
probably just say that much.
Yeah.
Sufficient?
Yeah. I even got a new piece written for her birthday last year, and performed that online as a world premiere. So
So some,
that was fun. Yeah.
yeah, someone who used to be active in the Clubhouse music scene
Mm.
is not anymore. All right. So a little bit about Alexander Scriabin, but first a little reset. I'll try to make it brief. This is the Classical Music Clinic from the MedTech 24/7 lobby, and we're simulcasting on YouTube and on Zoom. And this is a birthday concert that Cherry Grant is performing. It is her birthday today in New Zealand. It's November 26th there. And this is a concert of music by Alexander Scriabin and Dora Pejachevich. And if you want to support Cherry, you can click on the link at the top and buy a ticket for the concert. The entry fee is $1 New Zealand. That is pretty nice deal for this.
Yeah.
That's
Or
purely
if you want to
voluntary.
support.
That's purely voluntary, but remember,
Yeah.
she is an artist, which means by definition she's starving. And and
Yep.
she has a lot of mouths at home to feed and send to college. So just remember that. Alexander Scriabin was the composer of the late Romantic and early postmodern late Romantic era, and he lived from 1872 to 1915. And he began with an influence by the music of Chopin, but quickly progressed to an almost atonal late Romantic idiom that would mirror the works of Arnold Schoenberg, and was one of the most modernist Russian composers at the time of his unfortunate early demise from an infection in 1915. And he was somewhat forgotten, so to speak, by the communists, but his music came to be revived about 100 years after his death, and he's getting much more appreciation for his innovations in piano and orchestral composition, and part of that thanks to Sherry.
Yeah, he was really a composer ahead of his time. And last year I organized the International Scriabin 150 Festival, and with that, we actually managed to also resurrect the Scriabin Society of America. So I got invited to be on the board. So now I'm the international liaison for the society, and the only non-American pianist on the board. And planning to do a lot of things, including maybe, possibly, not confirmed yet, competition. So for Scriabin, not sure yet, but I would like to see that happening in America.
Hey, should we announce the next 7 pieces?
Yes.
All right. So we'll be listening to a series of preludes, Opus 15, number 5, Opus 16, number 5, then 3 from Opus 17, 3, 4, and 6, Opus 22, number 4, Opus 51, number 2, and Opus 74, number 1.
Okay, before that, I'll read the next poem. It's called Deep Frost, also written around the same time, just about 2 years ago. Millions upon millions of stars, paper cuts, private little scars. The space after each twinkle, all these years not a wrinkle. A breeze scatters fallen petals, the brook sings, barely settles. My heart, despite a deep frost, burns brighter still, never lost. Thank you. That's the end of my Scriabin selection. These pieces are very
Wonderful.
hard, and I never thought I'll be good enough to play his pieces, but I started trying last year.
You're supposed to
And
fess up. It was
yeah, that's
beautiful. It was
very,
beautiful, and you're getting a lot of appreciation, even
thank
from
you.
people who are semi-professional musicians.
Oh, okay. Nice to know. uh,
So, so
yeah.
Sherry just dashed that off. This
Mm,
is unpracticed. Just straight off the tip
yeah.
of her tongue.
Oh, the
Yes,
main thing is to spread Scriabin love. I wrote like 300 love poems for him last year, and I
seven
would
preludes by
to
Scriabin.
publish them.
So if you're the man in Sherry's life, you have to suppress your jealousy of Scriabin.
Yeah, he's my
And
absolutely first love.
you will. I think we're going to be a smart aleck and say that you're Scriabin's third wife.
Oh,
Knowing Scriabin's biography, he was married twice, and he died before he could marry again. So you can be Scriabin's third wife.
probably wouldn't work if I didn't speak Russian, so I have to work on
Well,
that.
uh, this is the Classical Music Clinic, and on YouTube, Sherry Grant's birthday party, and also on Zoom for attendees. So if you do want to watch on Zoom, you can do that in Sherry's own home studio. You can go to the link at the top and purchase a ticket, starting at $1 New Zealand, but going up if you wish to help her out more. So you can do that, and I've done that on the Humanitix link at the top. And if you want to see the whole program, I put a link in the room chat on Clubhouse.
Thank you,
And
Maxwell.
Barry will read a poem, and then we'll have the next composer, Dora Pejevich, and just a little bit about her in a second. In the Classical Music Clinic, like other MedTech 24/7 lobby rooms, we'll send a stage invite if your profile is filled out. You don't have to come to stage, but if you are on stage during the music, we ask you keep your microphone on mute as a courtesy to everyone here. We appreciate your comments in the room chat, but please be courteous to everyone. Don't do any business solicitation. And I recommend audio quality on high or music and turning off spatial audio. We're not doing requests on today's program, but I might ask Sherry at the very end if there are any requests she has because it's her birthday for extra Scriabin from VH. I found my Scriabin CD that had been hiding from me for a bit. So, Dora Pejevich, Countess Maria Theodora Paulina, who went by Dora Pejevich, was a Croatian noblewoman and, as I said, a countess who discovered a love of music, and her life, like Scriabin's, transcended the late Romantic and Modernist periods. She lived from 1885 to 1923, and she started as a Romantic composer, and her experiences as a paramedic during World War I led her to a more modernist, less tonal compositional path. And she often set her music or wrote settings of poetry by Karl Kraus, Rainer Maria Rilke, and Friedrich Nietzsche. She married Ottmar von Lumbe, who was a German count in 1921. And unfortunately, she died of sepsis as a complication of childbirth. So, uh, unfortunately, we have two very promising late Romantic, early 20th century composers today whose lives were both tragically cut short by sepsis. And perhaps maybe that's, their experiences in life and at the turn of the century influenced their compositional styles and perhaps brings about something that you love in their music, Sherry.
I suppose last year when I was playing my Scriabin concert, I actually chose 40 pieces by Scriabin. My plan was to play 40 pieces last year, and this year 30. Well, it's shared by Dora Pejacevic now. And next year I play 20, and 2025 I can play the 10 sonatas. I mean, at least an attempt, because I only just started playing solo piano since end of March 2022.
Okay, shall we have our poem and then our
Okay.
I'll announce the next group of compositions.
Right. So the next poem is called For She Is Never Alone. That was actually written around the same time. For she is never alone, lurking around, lanky shadow spouting nasty remarks, a slap or two, enjoying the crisp sound, seeking forgiveness, smiles like a shark's, never the kind to make selfless sacrifice for his own family, let alone his country. Life's complicated, nothing shall suffice. Flying rage, the kids go to bed hungry. Seasons come and go, terror stays put. Nightingale's silence washed in tears. Rumor has it that changes are afoot. Piled up bottles in early graves of fears. Oh, where might the promised land be? Built on waves upon waves of sighs. Destiny perwritten already, you see. New sorrows surface, they grow in size. So this one was inspired by a poem by Thomas More from Ireland from the 17 and 1800s. And I chose this one just this morning after attending a meeting about women and in arts. And I thought this one would be fitting and also for Dora. Okay.
All right. Our next compositions are by Dora Pejacevic. We'll hear the Lullaby Opus 2, the Barcarolle Opus 4, the Papillon Opus 6, the Song Without Words Opus 10, Forget-Me-Nots Opus 19, number 4, and then Erinnerung, or Remembrance, Opus 24. Take it away, Sherry.
you. So that's part one of Dora
Let me turn my
Pejacevic.
microphone open. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Lots of appreciation and love on Clubhouse. And thank you for that beautiful set. And I'll just give a quick reiteration of what you played. Lullaby, Barcarolle, Papillon or Butterfly, A Song Without Words, some Forget-Me-Nots, and then a Remembrance, all by Dora Pejacevic. And you have a poem coming up, but first a little bit of a reset. This is the Classical Music Clinic from the MedTech 24/7 lobby. We're celebrating Sherry Grant's birthday. She's giving a concert in honor of that. Two of her favorite composers, or her two favorite composers, I should say, Scriabin and Pejacevic. And Pejacevic is a more recent discovery for Sherry. And for this concert, I put the link at the top. If you want to buy a ticket, that's voluntary, but it does help Sherry if you buy a ticket. And the program is in the room chat if you want to find more information on all the compositions she's playing. And she's going to read her poem next.
Thanks, Maxwell. Yeah, I'm mostly curating these music because I love them. I was actually trained as a cellist primarily. Piano is just something I do because I love it. And another thing is it's nice to tour as a pianist because you don't have to carry the cello around. It's this added headache at airports, and there's always I got one of my cellos stolen from my car once, but I recovered it like 2 years later in a pawn shop in Auckland. So that was not much fun. All right, the next poem is called To Spring, and it was written also around that time, 2 years ago, just before Christmas, at the start of December. To Spring. Oh, spring, youthful spring, such warmth you bring. New buds rustle through, the world wakes to sing. With their best dances, birds and bees court. I think of you, my love, when how life is too short. When do we meet again? Courage is all we need to ride on a gentle breeze, dandelions of gravity freed. Oh, autumn, abundant autumn, tiny little seeds once planted, they fill the valley with blushes, by magic silently enchanted. We'll run away at night when the time is ripe, tides also on our side, moon sails up a pipe. What lies beyond time? True love that unites, ageless, stars in the sky, and those in your eyes. So that one was inspired by a German poet, Johann Ludwig Uhland, I think. His poem, The Shepherd's Winter Song, and also, of course, by Scriabin's music. Thank you.
All right. So the next series of compositions all come from a set of 9 pieces. The Waltz Caprices, or Walzer Capricen, Opus 28, by Dora Pejacevic. And once again, a reminder, this is the Classical Music Clinic. We send stage invites if your profile is filled out, and keep your microphone on mute during the music. And we appreciate your comments in the room chat, but don't do any business solicitation. And Sherry, if you have any requests, let me know, and we will maybe have something after you do your encore at the end of the concert.
Well, possibly save it for the next concert. Apparently, one of the kids is in a hurry to, I don't know, to make some noises. So, yeah, she's been asking me, what time do you finish? And sometimes my cat calls for help.
I didn't know if you wanted to hear the Black Mass or something like that.
Well, yeah, feel free to do that on Clubhouse, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we will continue now with music by Dora.
Okay. right. That's the last bit of Dora Pejacevic I'd like to share with you today. And
I'm still muted. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. A lot of love on Clubhouse for that.
thank you.
Those are the 9 waltzes and caprices, Opus 28 by Dora Pejacevic, dedicated to her professor, Percy Sherwood, from 1910.
I put together the program in about 3 days ago, deciding what to play and what not to play. But I was
The
happy to have found.
happy birthday program for Sherry, her 2 favorite composers.
Yeah, and I have to mention that Dora Pejacevic also died 100 years ago, just like Catherine Mansfield. So I thought I should celebrate her, and also my favorite female composer at the moment. Although in my last program I found a few that I really like Lily Boulanger, who lived even shorter time. She died in her 20s, but such a talented composer. And also one of the Lessees, right? What was it? Was it the 6 or 5?
I don't
In
know if
French.
Lily was part of Lessees.
No, she wasn't. But the
I
other
think
one, the
Lily Affair was the only one.
Telefair.
in
Yeah,
Lessees.
Telefair was, but Lily was just too short-lived. She didn't
didn't
get
make
to
it
do
quite
very
long.
much. But Telefair, I also really like. Well, but
You have
I have, yeah. So I need to explore more of these female composers' works. But I'm grateful for the opportunity because I was dedicating the Girl Power concert to Catherine Mansfield because I picked 23 composers from her time. And I think it's time for the next poem. Unless
Yes.
you want to say a few things.
No.
No?
Time for the
Okay.
next poem.
And then I shall go and call Zoe for the last part. Okay, so the 5th poem. Let me see if I can find the right pages. Okay. Well, I don't know if people know. People can tell that my favorite color is purple. I named all my girls some kind of purple in their Chinese name anyway. So, there's a bit of purple in this poem. It's called "New Sadness Comes Over Me." New sadness comes over me when dark clouds in jealousy drape over those lovely eyes, weighted in flight our fantasy. Broken far too many times, the heart lies in wait still, to be mended all afresh, I pray, rebirth in a daffodil. When will the storm blow over, an ocean stuck in between? Oh dear one, stay close to me. Lavender's blue, I'll be the queen. So, these are rather short poems of mine. I like rhyming. Okay, give me a moment. I'll go and get Zoe. I was going to add a dedication to Rachmaninoff too, but I'm getting a little bit tired.
We can do a room reset while you grab Zoe.
So I might just do
Yes.
one encore.
Okay, that's okay.
It's
We might
two.
play a short little Scriabin piece for you in honor of your birthday. This is the Classical Music Clinic from the MedTech 27 lobby, and we're doing a simulcast on YouTube and also a private birthday video recital on Zoom from Sherry's home studio in Auckland, New Zealand, in the MedTech 24/7 lobby, and other rooms of the Classical Music Clinic. I should actually reverse that. In the Classical Music Clinic and other rooms of MedTech 24/7 lobby, we send stage invites if your profile is filled out. We'd love to have you on stage, but you don't have to. We ask you keep your microphone on mute during the music. We appreciate your comments in the room chat, especially. Thank you for the birthday wishes to Sherry. The concert, if you want to subsidize it, there's a link at the top. And the buy-in is $1 New Zealand dollar, which isn't that much, but you can also make an optional donation which supports Sherry's concerts. And sometimes she does travel and visit places, and she does a lot of this out of her own generosity. So it helps her if she gets some donations. We appreciate the comments in the room chat. No business solicitation, please. And if you want us to play something in future rooms, you can make a comment in the room chat too. I think everyone here is a member of the house, so we won't solicit house memberships at this time. But you can tap the link at the top for more information about the lobby. And we suggest you turn off spatial audio and set your audio quality to medium or high. We usually have our classical music clinic on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern US. We're doing a special program this weekend for Sherry's birthday, so that's why we're doing the program on Saturday. And Sherry will come back with her daughter Zoe, who will help her with this encore, but we'll have an own little encore for Sherry coming up. We'll have Vladimir Horowitz, one of her favorite pianists, playing Towards the Flame by Scriabin, a short piece. But Sherry is almost here. She is approaching the piano momentarily. Just a side comment that as we come back in the fall, late fall and early winter, we may be resuming our opera series, and we're looking at possibly starting a series of Verdi operas. And for New Year's Eve, I'm anticipating a Beethoven piano concerto, actually all of Beethoven's concerti in one 5 to 6 hour program. So we'll have a Beethoven concerto palooza or concerto binge for New Year's Eve. So some things to look forward to. And now Sherry is back. So do we have Zoe? What is our encore going to be?
She will announce it. Hold on. She's just outside
Oh,
the door.
wonderful. Okay.
We just decided this morning, so something she sung before, but yeah, she will sing again, and one of her favorites.
Sherry is grabbing Zoe, and I appreciate everyone who has stayed in the concert thus far. So thank you to our listeners by Zoom and YouTube. And thanks to Elena, Tomo, Sylvia, Ash, M, Tomoko, LT, Maria, Barry, Dr. JS, and Miss Arctic. And now we have Sherry and Zoe here, and we are ready for our encore. Okay, everyone ready over there?
Singing the Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie.
It's been a while, so I didn't quite remember all of it, but I have some words here to help that. But are you able to change the pages? To okay. I want to say something. Okay, I don't know if anybody knows, but the Carpenters are my favorite pop group. So I want to pay tribute to Karen Carpenter, who died 40 years ago. So with this piece, well, not this song, not exactly her own song. It actually came from the Muppet movie, but we really like her rendition.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what what's on the other side. Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailor? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da do, la la da 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 dee da do. Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely wonderful.
So that's
Zoe
Zoe singing
Grant,
Rainbow
accompanied
Connection.
by Sherry Grant. Yes, the Rainbow Connection. And I think Zoe brought down the house. So I think I hate to say this, but you've been upstaged. Your entire birthday concert was just upstaged.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm glad that she's doing better than me. And she's actually she just set her grade 3 singing exam last week, less than a week ago. Anyway, yeah. So I'm glad that she did it and continuing to sing. I think it's to bring happiness to everyone. We want to
Absolutely.
reach
Well,
a
I want
billion people.
I have to say you brought a lot of happiness to people today with your concert. So
Thank
it's
you.
another reason to celebrate your birthday, all the happiness you bring with your music, the composers you introduce people to, the poetry. So absolutely incredible. A nice comment from Miss Arctic. Sherry, nice to see you again. Shishia for that, or I should say Doshia for that.
Okay.
My Hokkien is terrible. And I have something for you. Just 6 minutes of Scriabin from Horwitz. This is Towards the Flame. I think of this as the flame of a birthday candle.
Mm,
This is my
cool.
encore for you, and this will close out our room.
All right. I'll mute myself too. Can I just add that last year when I was doing my Scriabin's concert, I was very honored to have had 15.4 thousand people watching online. So that was fun. And not nearly as many this year, but still, yeah, all dear friends. So that's great. Thank you for celebrating with me. I imagine next year in November, I'm not just doing the Hill and Frame double festival to celebrate Janet Frame, another New Zealand writer, centenary next year. She was born 100 years ago from next year. and with Arthur Hill, an Australasian composer. He was actually the founder, sort of a lot of institutes in New Zealand and Australia. So very important, but not very well known composer. I want to celebrate them next year in November, and also November maybe play another concert for Yapin, because celebrating my birthday with his music is the best. Thank you.
All right, we will try Towards the Flame. We'll see if I can get all my audio equipment working.